All right, Josh, we're moving on to the special tests portion of the practical. Again, always compare bilaterally, go uninjured first, and it's going to move on. So first, we're going to do a valgus and varus stress test. So this is where you take the finger and you're just looking for laxity in any of the joints. So you apply pressure on the DIP and the PIP joints. You can do it with the MP. Just kind of apply a valgus and a varus pressure, see if there's any excessive laxity. Do that with each of the fingers. And that's pretty much all there is to that. The thumb UCL test. So you're going to hold the thumb like this, and you're going to stabilize down here, and you're pretty much just going to tug the thumb out. Test the ulnar collateral ligament right here on this side. See if there's any excessive motion. If there's not, then you're good. But if there is an excessive motion, you're looking at damage to the UCL, gamekeeper's thumb. So if there's any super excessive motion like that, that could be a positive sign. After that, we are looking for, what is that? That is lunotriquetral allotment test. Right. So you're going to go down to the carpal bones of the hand, and you're just going to apply some pressure, and push down, see if there's any issues there. A positive sign for that would be some pain in that area. You could be looking for a fracture of some kind. After that, we are going to do the finger extension, the shuck test. So pretty much what you're going to have to do is so if you bring your fingers like this, you're going to have them kind of flex like that, and what you're going to do is you're going to extend them against my resistance. All right. So positive sign there would be pain, just inability to fully extend those fingers. So that is an issue with your extensor muscles up here. After that, we're going to look for Murphy's sign. So make a fist. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your finger and put it along the knuckles right here. And what you're looking for here is to see that the third is the furthest one sticking out. So if that's not the case, then that could be a possible fracture, like a boxer's fracture or something like that. But her third knuckle is the furthest one out, so we're good. After that, you can relax. After that, we are going to do Watson's test. So we're going to put the patient into ulnar deviation this way, and then we're going to passively bring them into radial deviation in a flexed position. So if there's any pain with that, that's a positive sign for any damage in the UCL on the wrist. After that, we're going to do Boyle's test. So pretty much all this is you're going to hold your finger in an extended position and try and bend that top part. It's like a little wave right there. So she can do that, so that means that there is no issue with the flexor digitorum superficialis, I believe. So there's no issues there. That's completely intact, undamaged. After that, we're going to do the piano key test. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the metacarpals, and you're kind of going to push down on them, make sure there's no excessive movement, testing for any fractures. And with her, there's no excessive movement, nothing too worried about. So we're going to move on to the supination lip test. So what I'm going to have you do is you're going to put your hands like this. You're going to press down, and you're going to try and flex your elbows up, okay? There we go. Positive sign for that would be pain, probably right in this area right here. There was no positive sign, so all of that's working pretty well. After that, we're going to move on to the TFCC load test. So what we're going to do is you're going to over deviate. So go ahead and do that. We're going to press in and bring you into radial deviation right here. A positive sign with that would be pain, and that would be damage to the TFCC. I forget what the acronym is, but the flexor TFCC. After that, we're going to move on to the thumb axial load. So pretty much, it's going to take the patient's thumb and stabilize right here. You're going to push down and in. So testing for any fracture here, right there at the, actually you're going to palpate in the anatomical stuff box, and you're going to be palpating for the scaphoid, see if there's any scaphoid fractures or any ligament damage around there. After that, we're going to move on to the thumb grind test. So pretty much the same thing, only this time you're going to be kind of twisting the thumb, see if there's any grinding, really testing for a fracture. Positive sign would be some pain right in there shooting off the thumb. So you're going to push down in and kind of grind the thumb like a pepper shaker almost. All right, you can relax, I swear. After that, we're going to move on to the Lynch-Sheed test. So right here, you're going to have the patient up, and you're going to push down on the second and third. See if there's any excessive motion there. Positive sign for a possible fracture in those metacarpals. After that, we're going to move on to the sitting hands test. So we don't really, actually I do, hold on. So with this, you're just going to see if the patient is able to use their hands to get up out of a chair.
Perfect.
So, you know, a folding chair really. So go ahead and stand up, how you typically would. So right there, she was using her hands to get up out of the chair. She wasn't leaning excessively. Good hand and wrist use. There's no damage in there. All right, what do we have next? Next we have the Finkelstein's test. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold your thumb, and I'm going to passively bring you into ulnar deviation. A positive sign would be some sharp pain right here, right on the radial-collateral ligament. Any ligamentous damage there. After that, we're going to do a sweater finger. So what I'm going to have you do is like make a fist. So a positive sign for that would be if she was making a fist, but one or of the digits didn't completely flex. That could imply some nerve damage there. It just doesn't completely flex inward like that. So there's no issues here. I don't know if you can see very well on that camera. But after that, we're going to move to Tinel sign. So right here, we're going to start mid-forearm. This is to test for median nerve damage. So he's going to kind of percuss all the way down the forearm, right down to the carpal tunnel area, back up. And if the patient feels any paresthesia or any numbness or tingling, that could be a positive sign for median nerve damage. After that, we're going to do Phelan's test. So we're going to have you do this, like a reverse prayer. And typically, you'd have the patient just go down a little bit, really feel that right in the wrist. So typically what you do is you have the patient do this for about 30 seconds. If there's any paresthesia, any numbness, that's also a sign for median nerve damage. The next one we're going to do the reverse Phelan's test. So pretty much prayer. Just bring it real far down. Feel it right here. Test for the same thing, other median nerve damage. Really hold for 30 seconds, and if there's any paresthesia, any tingling, positive sign for median nerve damage. So after that, we're going to do the carpal compression test. So really, what you're going to do is you're going to compress right there on the carpal tunnel, and if there's any tingling or anything like that, that's a positive sign for more median nerve damage. Now, it's actually something you can do with the reverse Phelan's. So while they're holding like that, you don't have to. but you can kind of palpate in there on the median nerve and see if there's any issue. And if you get a positive sign for the carpal compression test, that would lead you to do the phalanx and the reverse phalanx. See if there's, just get a positive answer on whether you have median nerve damage. So after that, we're going to move on to the metacarpal compression test. So whenever you do this, like make a gentle fist, like don't like squeeze it to death, just make a really gentle fist. And what you're going to do, you're going to kind of compress in on the metacarpal joints right here. If there's any pain, and that's a possibility for a fracture, and you don't want them to make a super hard fist as to not irritate that fracture any further. So from there, we're going to go to the distraction test. So grab by the DIP joint, give some slight rotation, and this is another fracture test for anything along the phalange. So he's going to kind of give it a little tug at the DIP and rotate. Positive sign would be pain, maybe some crepitus. If there's none of that, you're probably good on not having a fracture. So after that, we're going to do the vibration test. So kind of just give the fingertip a flick. And what this does is this tests for fractures by sending a vibration down, and that would super duper irritate a fracture if you had one. And then last test, we're going to do UCL and RCL, the UCL and RCL test. So this is pretty much like a joint mode type. It's really kind of a valgus varus test for the wrist. So what you're going to do is you're going to apply a valgus pressure, a varus pressure on the ulnar collateral and the radial collateral ligaments for the wrist. And you're just looking for any excessive movement to see if there's any ligamentous damage. That's all the special tests. Thank you for watching.